Alright, hello there, welcome back to another wee bit different video. Today's video, we're going to do an Overwatch tier list maker. Typically I do a lot of Overwatch discussions and I enjoy those, but I thought this was interesting because a lot of the recent discussions have had a lot of talks about character balance and how toxic certain characters can be. So I thought, let's make a tier list of who is the most toxic Overwatch character, period. Not as a person, like not in terms of in-game lore, but just that the community hates when they get killed by or who they have to play against. Who is just the most toxic? So, without further ado, I think we should just get right into it. And let's start with the probably number one or at least top three character. Hanzo, S tier, without question. Everyone and their mama hates getting one-shotted. And anytime you get to play against a Hanzo, or anytime there's a discussion about him on Reddit, or I think I've seen a couple of YouTube shorts on him, there's been a lot of hate. So Hanzo, S tier, easily the most toxic character for most players, and they hate him. They want him to get nerfed or reworked or whatever. Personally, I love Hanzo. I think he's a great character, but I'm not blind to see the popular opinion is people hate him. Anyway, going into the next character, we got Ana. I would say Ana's B tier, right? People think she's really toxic. Okay, so you know what? Let me reword these. Okay, so we got 100% toxic being the character is without a doubt toxic and the community flat out hates it and everyone hates it. Very toxic is people don't like playing against this character. Player can be very annoying and obnoxious to play against, but it's not 100% to where all that the character offers, all that the character can offer is really toxic. Plain toxic means it is toxic, but not to an extreme. Not toxic, well, pretty self-explanatory, not toxic. And then an Angel, kind of like Soldier 76, where if you get killed by one, you're just like, well, you know, no hate here. You know, you kind of just have to have some skill. So anyway, Ana's going to be in plain toxic because her sleep dart is very obnoxious. Her anti-nade is very obnoxious. But her movement isn't crazy by any means. Her damage output isn't crazy by any means. She's gotten nerfs here and there. So I would say she's a plain toxic character in the community's eyes. In my eyes, I would say not toxic. But again, I don't want to turn a blind eye, because the whole point of who the most toxic is basically how much people bitch about that character. Let's just keep it a buck. Ashe, I would say Ashe is not toxic at all. I wouldn't say an Angel. People can still bitch about her from time to time, but for the most of it, I feel like there's not too many complaints about her. Baptiste, I would say is plain toxic as well. People can really complain about the immortality field and then his ability to basically solo pretty much everyone except tank characters in the game because of the self-heal and then the immortality, and he does really insane damage up close. So I would say Baptiste is plain toxic. Bastion, right now, with the way people have been talking about him, despise him. They don't like playing against him. They want him to be nerfed so bad because he's 100% toxic in the community's eyes. No skill character. A bunch of people say, oh, you're playing Bastion, no skill. Like, if you just play a game and you main Bastion, people are going to shit on you for just picking that character. Bastion's considered very toxic right now. Brig, I would say, is not toxic. I wouldn't go as far as to say as an Angel. There have been very small complaints about her with the shield bash and making people dizzy, but ultimately, I would say, I would say, honestly, I would say an Angel, because I feel like those complaints are so minor. They don't really matter. If you play Brig, you're never going to get shit on. People will kind of always disrespect your gameplay. Cassidy, up there with Ashe. Oh, actually, no. I would say plain toxic because of the magnetic grenade. People hate that right now. The fact that it hinders you. I'm going to leave Cassidy in plain toxic. Nothing more than that, though. I'm curious to see what people think about his 75% roll damage reduction, though. Doomfist. People always respect Doomfist. They know he's extremely hard to play, and they know that for most people, he just doesn't work. But for those that do make him work, I feel like they're very respected because this character can't really cheese you or anything. He has to just flat out be better. So Doomfist, in the community's eyes, if you play him, not toxic at all. You are an angel. Diva, I would just say Diva's not toxic. Echo, same thing, not toxic. Definitely not an angel, but not toxic. Genji's a weird one because I think everyone has respect for Genji players that make him work, but I think that so many people complain about the deflect and how obnoxious he is to play against. But I think ultimately everyone can say they respect this character. No buffs, no nerfs needed ever. Like, it's fine. We're gonna go with an angel, to be honest. Lil Yachty, I would say, is very toxic right now for the community. People hate how much damage she can do. They hate her healing turret. They think it just does too much healing for a turret, and they think her damage is just way too high for support. Her ult is even a damaged ult, and that's because she is a support. So Lil Yachty is definitely up there and very toxic right now. Extremely controversial for sure. Junker Queen, not toxic. Junkrat is probably not toxic as well. This is not ordered, by the way. It's just characters that don't get shit on a lot. You know, people who don't have a lot to complain about, right? I don't see anyone complaining about these three for sure. If anything, I see people praise them. Nobody really complains about these three. So yeah, I would say Junkrat's and not toxic. I would say Kiriko's also in not toxic. People early on expressed that she was overpowered, but as the seasons have gone on and as they've made tweaks to her, she seems just about where she needs to be. Nothing crazy there. Lifeweaver, no complaints. I mean, on release, with the power that he had to screw up a teammate's positioning, that was a hot topic. But as time's gone on, nothing there. No one's asking for a nerf. Same with Lucio. Mei, I don't know. I feel like Mei's a plain toxic kind of character just because her ability to counter a Genji is a meme in a lot of people's eyes. They think that if you play Genji and you see a Mei, someone switch to Mei, you're probably pretty butthurt. Like, you're feeling a lot of resentment against that character. I don't think people like her ice wall. They think it can be used for trolling, or you can just mess it up. I wouldn't rank her as high as these three, but I would say Mei is a plain toxic kind of character in the community's eyes. Mercy, not toxic at all. Moira is a plain toxic character because the most people I see complain about her are her own teammates when they say DPS Moira, we need more healing Moira, stop being so DPS heavy as a Moira. So yeah, I think the community isn't necessarily calling for nerfs, but they're calling for a change in playstyle for a lot of Moira players, which is to stop being so DPS dependent. So yeah, I would leave her at plain toxic. Orisa, oh my god, the community hates her right now. If you play her, everyone hates you. 100% toxic right now. Honestly, she's probably higher than Bastion, with as many people complaining about her more than Bastion. Hanzo number one, always. I feel like Hanzo's always gonna be number one because of that headshot ability. But Orisa is fucking up there. If not, she honestly could be considered number one. It's really either or in this scenario, to be honest. Pharah, nah, no one shits on her. She's kind of irrelevant. Ramatra, no one shits on her. Reaper, people honestly respect the fuck out of Reapers. I feel like if they don't necessarily call for his buff, but you never ever hear anyone say a bad thing about Reaper, saying he's a cheese character or he does this or he does that. It might be a bit annoying that he has a get out of jail free card, but playing as him requires a lot more skill and concentration because you have to pretty much position yourself as best as possible always to do the most damage. So I feel like people have a lot of praise for Reaper. right? No one shits on him at all. Reinhardt, people are pleading. If you play Reinhardt, people are pleading this guy gets a buff. Personally, I see more Reinhardts than half the roster, and I play in Diamond 2 for tank and Diamond 3 for DPS. I don't think he needs a buff. I think I see him quite often, to be frank. But if you play him, you are considered an angel. People always say buff Reinhardt, nerf Bastion, Reinhardt this, Reinhardt that. I don't play Reinhardt. If they do buff Reinhardt, I'm not gonna sweat it, to be honest. But if you do play him, you are not considered toxic at all. You are an angel. Roadhog. Roadhog's playing toxic, I would say right now, because he still can one shot. It's very difficult. But also when he pulls people off the map, some people can really bitch about that. I have seen that in game chats before. They don't like that. For one, he's not really relevant in the tank meta at all, but two, with his rework coming up, who knows what that's going to look like. All in all, Roadhog doesn't get a whole lot of respect, but he doesn't get dissed on too much. Sigma balls, I feel like everyone just kind of respects Sigma. If you play Sigma, you're going to get a lot of respect. No one's going to have an issue with you whatsoever. They're just going to respect your gameplay and be like, well played, bro. Because as a Sigma, you can't really counter anyone in particular. You know, it's just kind of like, oh, respect to you, dude. Sojourn, playing toxic. She can still one-shot, headshot you if she's close. People can lose their minds on anything one-shot, and they can consider it really obnoxious. Personally, I have no issues with, honestly, any of the cast in terms of, like, if I don't care what character you play. Again, just me personally, I'm kind of cool with it. I play it as is. But I've done a lot of community discussions. There have been a lot of complaints about specific characters, and the more complaints there are about characters, obviously the higher are they on this list. Sojourn, while she doesn't get as much complaints as she used to, she gets them every now and then, so I'm gonna leave her in playing toxic. Soldier 76, if you play him, you are respected because people know, damn, this dude doesn't have any gimmicks, no cheese. He's a Call of Duty style player where you got your sprint and your shoot and a self-heal. Nothing crazy there at all. His ultimate is mid, not a whole lot to it, nothing too bad about it. The character just is simple. And I think anytime you have a simple character with no cheese, the community is like, well, respect to this player because he's not doing any gimmicks. He's just beating me. So while Soldier doesn't need a buff or anything, no one's calling for it. Anytime you lose to a Soldier, there's no complaints. Sombra, even with her rework, I've seen a lot of people complain, saying, oh, she hacks the tank too much, or oh, not a fan of the rework because she does more damage up close, or yada yada yada. You know, complaints. It happens. It's just something, especially with this community, it's gonna happen very frequently. Personally, I like the rework. You know, a lot of the message that you're gonna get from me in this video is I enjoy the game. Now, I don't enjoy a lot of the development aspects, or sorry, not so much development aspects, more so the pricing aspects and the lack thereof big updates. So I guess you could say still development aspects, but it's not so much the state of the game with balance. Like, yeah, I'd like things switched, but it's not gonna kill it for me personally. Anyway, Symmetra, 100% toxic. People hate Symmetra. Complain about her turrets all the damn time. All the time. All the time. Anyone with turrets, as you can see, is extremely toxic in the community's eyes. Torb, same thing. People hate these characters, man. The gimmick characters have the biggest hate. For example, Hanzo, one shot. Immediately everyone hates him. Orisa, survivability. Immediately everyone hates him. Bastion, the assault mode. Immediately everyone hates him. Symmetra, Torb, turrets. You know where I'm going with this. Everyone hates him. Tracer, I would say people think nothing much of her. I haven't heard too much about Tracer. If they're not toxic at all, I think that there's just not really a lot to be said. If they're on that angel category, I think people just flat out respect those players who play as these characters. Widowmaker used to be on very toxic. Now she gets, honestly, no complaints. I have not, ever since the patch where she cannot one-shot headshot from anywhere, there have been pretty much no complaints at all on that character. That really gutted her, not gonna lie. So nothing on Widow. Winston is praised, absolutely. If you lose to Winston and they're just good, you kind of just tip your hat and be like, well, that person was just better than me. Not a whole lot to say there. Winston, in the grand scheme of things, to the Overwatch community, is considered an angel of a character. You know, a lot of respect to that character. No toxicness near him, right? Nothing at all. Complete good vibes. You know what it is over here, though. A lot of complaints going on this side. Ballsack Sports. People get annoyed of him pretty easily. I would say plain toxic. People really bitch about this character, and that his gimmick is obviously being all over the place, and it makes it annoying getting picked off. And also your own team will complain saying, oh, it's hard to heal a wrecking ball, or oh, I don't have a tank to shield me from anything. I understand the complaints, you know, in some aspects, but ultimately I think the character is great. But that doesn't stop me from acknowledging the amount of complaints that this character does get, and the amount of times people bitch that, oh no, Wrecking Ball's on my team. I don't main Wrecking Ball at all, but I play him from time to time, and people don't like it. Before the match even starts, people will say to switch. Seriously, it's crazy. Zarya, oh my god, people hate her right now. So bad, dude. Now that I think about this, we're gonna add Lil Yachty up here. Okay, we're gonna add her up here, and we're gonna add. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. So yeah, Lil Yachty gonna be 100% toxic. The more I think about it, the more, yeah, she is talk of the town kind of complaints. Zenyatta, if you tank players, preach it, dude. They hate this guy. Getting the Discord on him, they hate it. There's a lot of toxic energy around Zenyatta right now, which is ironic because he is a man of peace and wisdom and no drama. But it just so happens that the character brings a lot of drama into a lot of discussions. This is the state of the game right now, in my opinion. But to be honest with you, I'm basing it off of a lot of what I see with the community and how much people bitch about certain characters. These guys, they're all respected, right? You can argue Reapers on not toxic, but I really think people just flat out respect Reaper. By the way, this is not ordered at all, excluding Winston being like number 1 and Soldier being number 2. You could argue Doomfist is 3, but for the most of it, this isn't ordered. Not toxic is nobody really bitches about him. You know, there might be a couple of comments here and there, but they're not toxic. Plain toxic is people have flat out an issue with these characters, whether it's because they're annoying or they have something about them that people don't like, and they make it well known. Very toxic, and well, there is a good crowd of people that have something to say about these characters in a very negative way, and they don't like them. And then 100% toxic is people just want something to change. They hate what these characters are doing right now. And personally, again, I do just enjoy the game, but I thought it'd be funny to make this video because I do like to talk about Overwatch with you guys. There was this comment saying something, I forgot what it was, but I responded basically with, I just like having discussions and knowing your guys' opinion on the game, because when I hop on, I play real people too. And when those people in the game chat talk shit or bitch about certain characters or whatever, or if I'm on Reddit and I'm seeing comments, like, there's a chance I could be playing you guys. And so I kind of just want to know what the community thinks, and I think it brings us closer together in a way. Obviously we wouldn't know each other still, but the community is what makes the game fun. The better the community, the more fun and more inviting it can feel like to play a game. So this is just my 2 cents on it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. If not, then forever hold your peace, or whatever the saying goes. What is it? Speak now or forever hold your peace. I don't know what they say at weddings. But anyway, I appreciate you guys for watching. As always, this is All Even Different. On We've Been Different. And we out.